Welcome back to our series on Teacher Talk. In this video, I want to talk about effective instruction. And my goal is to talk about effective instruction regardless of the delivery method that you may be using this year, whether that's virtual, in-person, or some kind of hybrid model. This obviously is not going to be an exhaustive list, but they are things that I hope that we are all considering as we plan for this year. The first thing is building relationships. You know, it always has and it always will begin with relationships. We must find ways to connect with students, whether it's through online learning or in person. You know, online it may look like we have 3 or 4 students kind of hang back after a class and we can have a small group discussion just to connect, or even eat lunch with some students through a Zoom. We've got to make sure that we are teaching with empathy this year. Students and families have been through so much over the past few months, and we've got to make sure that we are addressing the child as a whole person and not just academically. So it begins with building relationships. But secondly, I think we've got to think about setting high expectations. You know, I really believe that students often achieve to the level that we set the bar at as teachers. Researcher John Hattie says that collective teacher efficacy has the largest impact on student achievement. That's just the belief that teachers have that says you can achieve to high levels. That actually produces high levels of learning. So we've got to have the belief, and we have to set those expectations high for our students. Next, I want to think about diversifying our teaching methods. You know, is every activity and task and strategy that we're using, does it look the same every single day? Or are we infusing a variety of strategies to really increase student engagement, discussions, writing, both independent and collaborative experiences? You know, we're going to have to be risk takers this year, not when it comes to safety, but when it comes to lesson planning, we're going to have to try new things and also acknowledge that, hey, some of those things are not going to work out well. We have to establish a growth mindset for ourselves and say, okay, let's come back, let's get better, and continue to improve. Let's be that model for students. I also want to think about collaborative experiences followed by individual assessment. And this assessment's got to be frequent, it can be formative, but we've got to know where students are at in their learning. You know, it can come in a variety of ways. It could come through little exit tickets as students are leaving the classroom. These can be short, but it still informs us about instruction and where students are at. And I think it's really good to still give students that collaborative learning environment, but then have this frequent individual assessment following so we know and we can personalize instruction for every student. So let's think about our last thing, establishing relevance. This year, more than ever, I think students will need to see relevance in whatever they are learning. And we have plenty of things to bring into the classroom that do establish relevance. Bring in social issues, healthcare, broadband access. Work on relevant, authentic problems as you teach skills and content in your area. I think this is going to really, help students progress and grow throughout the year. And I want us to remain positive this year and know that there's no doubt that this year is going to be different when it comes to learning. But I know it can still be a quality year with students continuing to grow. And we may have to do things differently and try new things, but we are resilient. We are teachers.